So first question is by Shravani P. So her question is how to plan a learning schedule at home for kids. This is interesting and chaotic at the same time. If you truly get this, it's going to be fun, okay? If you don't, then it's going to eat your head. Learning is something, it has to be handled very smartly by parents. I'll tell you why. Children are natural learners, okay? Even if you don't want them to learn, they will, because that's the law of nature. Any living being was born, not just humans, any living being is born, it has to learn, right? Learning is the way of being. So children are learning too, but then we humans are the most complicated creatures on earth, and that's the exact reason why we parents need to be so planned in terms of helping our children on what they are learning, right? So how can you plan a learning schedule? First of all, I want to talk about this specific thing. When anybody says learning and children together, mostly the academics come into picture. Yes or no? When you heard this word learning and children together, what came to your mind? I want you to type that in the comment section. When Shravani asked this question, I don't know if you're here, Shravani, but then did you specifically mean academics or learning in general? Okay, that matters a lot. I hope you realize that academics is just part of a bigger learning process. If this is the bigger learning process, academics is like this, somewhere here. Yeah. If you get this, then you will have answer for your own question, right? But then let me still explain that. Whenever you're planning any learning process for that matter with children, remember this one thing. Make sure it is a mix of multiple things. When it's learning, don't be focused on only one kind of learning, like academics alone, or discipline alone, or responsibility alone. No, it's not that. It has to be a combination of variety of things. While academics being a small part of their learnings. Now you might say, how is this possible? Children are in school for about 8 hours. They come back, they have to do their homeworks and assignments and stuff. How can it be the smaller portion of their learning experience? That's the challenge that we have, right? That's the challenge that we have. We somehow need to figure out how how less time we can spend on academics, but giving it the exact result that you want it to have. Yes, you still need to focus on your children finishing their homework, learning all their subjects and everything, but with limited time, as much limited time, so your children have a lot of time to learn other things. Now, what are these other things? Responsibilities, yeah, and then personal development, and then discipline, some games, maybe hobbies, right? Playing a lot with your friends, especially playing with your friends teaches them so much. They quarrel, that teaches a lot. They patch up with their friends again, that teaches them a lot. They make new friends, that teaches them a lot again, right? They break their friendship with some, that again teaches them a lot. So playing should actually contribute the most part of your child's day, especially till like 7, 8. They gotta play a lot. Yeah. Mostly what we parents do, we send them for like an hour, say 7 to 8. After that, you gotta be home, right? That's kind of understandable. But then understand what happens if they don't play a lot with their friends. I'm sure with that 1 hour of playtime, so many other things will fall in place. Their homework falls in place, their bedtime routine falls in place, their dinner time falls in place. They don't get as tired, so they are less cranky, so it is easy for parents, right? So many things just fall in place. But that is not how children need to grow up. Correct? So when it comes to learning, make sure whatever schedule you have, see, remember that every child is open to learning in a specific time of the day, especially when it comes to academics. Some are okay learning in the morning, some in the evening, some at night, right? Some just before going to play, some after coming back from play. Whatever is best suited for your child, you need to focus on that. You need to know which is the better time for my son or daughter. Again, one of the biggest mistakes that parents do here is planning their learning schedule based on the parents' convenience. Oh, right now I don't think I'll have any office calls, so I better schedule his learning time now. But then if your child is not very comfortable learning around that time, maybe 7 to 8 you don't have calls and you're like really free. Okay, let's study 7 to 8. But what if 7 to 8 is, that evening time is not the best learning period for your son or daughter? What will you do? Right? So you got to keep that in mind as well. That is extremely important. Okay. And yeah, learning time and what all you include. It has to be play, it has to be discipline, it has to be responsibilities, it has to be academics, it has to be hobbies, maybe a new game, right? And when I say games, make sure, this is something that I have seen which is extremely effective. Make sure your child is involved in a minimum of one group game and one solo game. Why? These group games teach him so much teamwork, right? Going along with others, leadership skills, listening skills, and how to follow the orders. So much, especially when it is group games. And individual games, wherein individual games like tennis, right? Or it could be chess again, yeah? Anything wherein he is there alone and nobody else, there's no team. That again teaches him something else. He will learn how to focus on himself. He will learn what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are. There's so many advantages. So make sure you focus on both group games and solo individual games as well. Yeah, you can combine it with hobby also. But then make sure hobby is not something they do it like once in a blue moon and then finish off. Make sure it's on regular basis. They need to evolve as a person in that, right?